So we're gonna jump right on in real quick here. We're gonna use the Nuvo expanding mousse, and I'm gonna try and open this. I'm gonna have a little bit of difficulty because I don't have any nails, and then I'm gonna pause and come back because they make it so you can't get into this product. But mousse, if you've never used this before from Nuvo, it's like an embossing paste. It's a little bit thicker. But whenever you're putting it on your project, it's like someone else said in the comments on one of my videos, it's basically like you're putting icing on a cake. That's what it feels like when you're spreading it on. And you just want to make sure you have a nice layer. Now, I will say using this product, the expanding mousse with the smaller stencil, it didn't, there wasn't a whole lot of the paste left on the page, you know, because it was little diamonds. So it really didn't have a big, like, expanding effect. It gave it a little bit of texture, which was really cool, but it's not like it, like, balloons up really big, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And whatever extra you have, you can, you know, scrape it off of the um, stencil itself, and then I just scrape it back into the container. Now I will say too, or as well, that when it comes to the mousses, you definitely want to use them. They're not a product to really sit around and then wait to use later on. I know I wound up throwing away a couple of containers because it was just so hard. And even putting water in it, it wasn't reactivating it, and it just wasn't doing right. So I definitely suggest if you get them, use it, okay? Don't put them on a shelf and forget about them. Decide to use them. They work really well on projects. And now I've heated up my heat tool, and I'm just going to take this over the entire project. Now, what's really interesting with heating this up, like I was saying, like you can kind of see it change colors, and it almost gives it, because I have it right here in my hand while I'm talking to you guys, but it gives it like this really interesting uh, texture. That's the word I keep saying, but that's what it is. And it, like, it bubbles up, and then there's parts of it where, like, I didn't heat it enough, so it didn't really bubble, so it still has some of the shine. So you can make a really interesting project with this, you know, just by how you angle it and how you're heating it with the heat tool. And I know it seems like I've been doing it for a long period of time, but like I said, with these diamonds, it took a bit to get it to bubble up all over. And I was really trying hard. I didn't want to burn anything. And I was just trying to be, you know, really slow with it to make sure I kept it protected. And then I'm holding it up close here so you can see some of that texture from the heat tool. And then a couple of the diamonds actually lifted up a little bit. It was really cool. So, like, if you had something that was a little bit more open faced as far as the area where you're going to put it, and then you heat emboss it, I think that would look really cool. So I'm just taking a 5.5 by 8.25, 8.5, excuse me, card, and I'm folding it in half so that the size will wind up being 4.25 by 5.5. And we're going to attach our panel piece, which I had wound up cutting 4.25 by 5.5, just in case if I decided that I wanted to trim it down and have like a mat under it. It was big enough that I could do that. But I decided, you know what, let me just attach this entire thing to the background. So I'm going to go ahead and get this attached. And what's really funny is as I'm putting it on, I don't know if you can see it right there, it kind of went on crooked. So the art glitter glue really does help to allow you to, you know, kind of move and shift stuff around to try and get it exactly where you want it. And then you can do something cool like add a flower. I have a sentiment over on the side that I've done that says Happy Mother's Day. So I'm trying to like rifle through and find it. And then so you could, you know, put a little sentiment there. And it was looking a little, like the flower and the sentiment was kind of being swallowed up. So I was like, you know what, maybe I need to do something else. So I grabbed these butterflies I have. They're from the Georgia Blues, from Prima. And at first, I thought about using this white one with the sentiment and putting it at the bottom. And I was like, no, I think we can do something else. So what if I put it in the center? And it still seemed like with the busyness of the background, you were losing the butterfly. So I decided, maybe I can add a frame. I looked at the circle one. I'm going to pull over. I have like a reddish oval one that I'm going to try. Because I just wanted something to draw your eye to where, the sentiment is and where the butterfly. And I was just thinking that circle was maybe just a little bit too small because the butterfly seemed to be swallowing it. And then there would be a little bit of space. And then I was like, no, not going to do it. So I decided not to use the white one, go with this blue one here. And then I was like, you know what? I like this vellum that it's on. So what if I cut this down and put it as like a barrier between the butterfly and the background? Now, of course, I'm cutting this by hand, so it's not perfectly straight, but I just thought, you know what, let me just grab this little, it's new to me, um, paper distressor from uh, Tim Holtz, I think it is, or Tonic, and it didn't really mess up the edges that much, but it was enough. It was, the vellum is thick, but it's just still kind of flimsy, so it doesn't work really well. But it kind of camouflaged it enough. And so I just put some ATG tape right in the center, and I figured I would attach the butterfly and then attach the sentiment down at the bottom. Now, what's interesting is I'm just putting the art glitter glue on the back of the sentiment, and really that was all the adhesive I was using. As I came back to do the voiceover, I'm looking at it and I realized, you know what? When you have that texture, you need more than just the ATG tape, okay? With embossing paste, glitter, anything that you're putting down on your project, you want to make sure you add some wet glue in spots, only because you want to make sure it has good adhesion, okay? So here are the close-ups of the project. I know that, sorry, that one's a little blurry, but I just wanted you to kind of get a close-up view of the flower with the background, and you can see you can even use elements from the products themselves, and it looks really beautiful on your projects. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. I've links below to scrapbookingwithme.com. And if you go and purchase over at the website, make sure you use the coupon code TT15 to get an additional 15% off on anything that's not on sale. Thanks, you guys, and I hope you have a great day.